Yeah, I don't think of it that way.
Making all the world's information available. Why would one want to do that in the end?
Well, you can take a philosophical approach, you can take a business approach. I think if you go back in history, and if you look at every culture, every society, the availability of information has always made that society develop at a faster pace. Whether it's getting them to be more innovative, whether it's getting them to be more informed and therefore, more enterprising, whether it's the feeling of sort of liberation for them. So information has always had a role in people being liberated, innovative, a more vibrant society. What's very fascinating is so far we've had one approach to information, which is, dear consumer, pay attention, I'm going to give you some information. And if you don't log into your TV at 8 p.m. tonight, you're going to miss that information forever. Or, dear consumer, pay attention, tomorrow morning's newspaper is going to talk about how fantastic it is to travel to Spain. Well, consumers are not like that. We don't like to be programmed. You and I want it when we want it.
The opportunity of our time is to have all the published works of humankind accessible to everybody. We have the technology of storage, we have the networking to be able to give distribution, and we have the political will to live in an open society. The idea of having universal access to all knowledge is within our grasp. We could build the Library of Alexandria and not just have all the great works in one place, but to make it accessible to anybody all over the world. The question is, what is going to be the role of the private sphere, the companies, corporations, and the public sphere, government, libraries, universities, and the like? What's the future as we bring large amounts of information? Is it going to be largely a private enterprise or a public enterprise? That's one of the great questions of this time.
Google Book Search is a historic effort to make the full text of all the world's books available and searchable through a single search box on google.com. Google Book Search was really an effort to say, wow, there's all this great, really interesting information that's available in books that currently isn't searchable through Google today. So it's an effort to go and make all of the text, books for years have been the historic vehicle through which ideas have been transmitted, to make that information searchable through Google. We've currently partnered with 6 libraries around the world, one of which is Stanford University, and we're working closely, they're our neighbors here, and we work closely with them to digitize the materials in their collection and make them searchable online.
With this robotic book scanner that we have, we can do 15 to 40,000 books a year. I would be a very, very old man before we did 9 million books at that rate. So the Google came to us with a proposition to invest heavily in this and to invest innovatively in this and to give us back copies of the digital copies that they made, as well as not damaging the books. So the private partner is the only partner that came to us with a conception that was big.
The Internet Archive is working with about 30 libraries, also with Microsoft and Yahoo, Adobe, HP, and put together an organization called the Open Content Alliance. The idea is to build an open library system where different organizations pitch in to build a digitized repository of books that's open.
Are you in a position to compete with Google in this?
Actually, I'm hoping that Google turns slightly to the left and decides to join the Open Content Alliance and make their books available in the same way.
Is that likely that they will?
There have been discussions over the last 6-7 years, but they haven't proceeded yet.
Google, through Google Book Search, has developed a proprietary technology for the digitization of books. That is a really interesting technology in that it is a non-destructive technology. So we can go to these libraries that have really valuable collections and scan them in a way that does not destroy them or damage them in any shape or form.
Would there be a chance for us to see how it's working?
The digitization machinery. At this point, we're not making that available to non-partners.
What is the interest of Google?
First, I think that they do it because they know they will build traffic to their site. I do think they also have a philanthropic point of view, an a missionary point of view. They are literally trying to do good while doing well. They're trying to do good for the public, wherever that public might be, while they're doing well in their profit column.
Google's just another corporation, and they'll take advantage of their assets to try to use it as an advantage in the commercial marketplace. That's all they are, and that's all they can be under our system.
What guarantee do I, as a user, have that Google is not going to charge me for it in the future?
Well, I mean, today the Google Book Search is a service that's available to users at no cost, as many Google services are. I think most, and this is the current plan for the product: is that we will continue to provide access to this information and to these public domain books at no cost to our users.
Books, it's who we are, it's our literature, it's what we've built up over millennia. And the idea of whether those books are going to be in the public sphere or privatized as we go through a digitization round is very much in the air. There are many that say, it's perfectly fine if one company owns it. I'm sure they'll, make it available under reasonable licensing terms, or, but it's okay. Why don't we just let Google do it? And there are others that say, no, this is who we are. We want to be able to not have to ask permission of a company to do research with these books. If it's up to one company to say yes or no for any particular type of research, have we really won? Or are we living in a sort of scary Orwellian world?
I think Google is getting to the size where they will have to be watched carefully by competition authorities in the US and Europe. I don't think they are right now behaving in a particularly monopolistic way with services like Google Print, for example, where they are scanning books from several very large libraries. As far as I know, they haven't restricted those libraries from also supplying their books to other search engines. I think if they did start to engage in that behavior, then you would want the competition authorities to step in.